As you know, there are tens of thousands of movies out there, some good, many bad, but there's a select few that really touched me personally and that really sent me a strong message that really hits your gut and really drives home emotion. And for me, that was the one of my top movies was Good Will Hunting with Matt Damon and Robin Williams. And in that movie, it's the development of a young 20-year-old orphan in Southside Boston, and Robin Williams is his therapist. And in their relationship, they start off really rocky, and it all changes through a monologue or a speech from Robin Williams to Matt Damon, in which he explains the importance of learning things through experience rather than just reading them in a book. Now, Matt Damon is very, very intellectually intelligent. He can read a book and comprehend everything from it, and he does so very much. In Robin Williams and his first therapy session, Matt Damon sees a painting on the wall and completely analyzes Robin Williams and just rips him apart. And the speech takes place just after this incident. And Robin Williams is expressing his reaction to what Matt Damon has said, and he doesn't retaliate, but acknowledges what he said and teaches him. And I think that this is one of the best speeches I've ever seen. He he starts the speech by telling Matt Damon that he thought about what he said, which initially shows that he cares, which is something that Matt Damon hasn't really experienced because he grew up as an orphan. And then he turns it around to slightly insult him and saying that he hasn't thought about him since he kind of overcome the things that Matt Damon had said to him. And I found this remarkable because he's kind of gambling with the emotions because he could insult him and Matt Damon would retaliate by writing him off and not listening to anything he said, or he could be intrigued and be more interested in what he was going to say. And I think that's what he was getting at, is because he knew Matt Damon was an intelligent individual, so he really read the audience well and continued to give these life lessons. And in the speech, he talks about how you can't just learn things through a book, it's through experience. And he tells him about his wife having cancer and seeing the Sistine Chapel and just the smells that you can't read about that in a book, and all these emotions that you can't read about in books. And he really talks about really personal things, so he's really opening himself up and making himself vulnerable, which, as we've read, if you're relating to personal experiences, it's going to make the audience listen a lot more attentively. It's going to make your credibility go way up. And he then ends by talking about Matt Damon and how he can't know everything about his life as an orphan and growing up and how hard things were for him just by reading the book Oliver Twist. And for this exact circumstance, this is an absolutely unbelievable analogy for him. And it really just captivates what he's trying to say and shows that he cares and that he doesn't know who he is, and that the only way that he's going to be able to get to know Matt Damon is if Matt Damon opens up and shows him the experiences. And that's it's an unbelievable speech because he just captivates all these different aspects. He hits a personal level. He opens up. He makes himself vulnerable. And in the introduction, he's kind of gambling, trying to get his attention. And in the conclusion, he's talking about how he can't do this on his own, and that the only way for him to help Matt Damon is if Matt Damon lets him. And he's showing that he cares, which is something that Matt Damon hasn't had in his life. And I personally think that the speech is almost perfect. I've been looking over it tons and tons of times, trying to find things that are wrong with it, and I can't. The introduction is perfect for the audience. His tone, the way that he opens up, the way that he closes, the body of his speech is just remarkable. And I truly think that a speech like this could be used as a gold standard because of all of the key aspects of communication and public speaking that we've talked about. He hits each one of those in stride perfectly. And as much as I don't want to kind of build it up so much, I truly do think it's a remarkable speech, and there's little that I can find wrong with it, and little that I want to find wrong with it. So I hope that you'll look at the video of the clip that I posted below and enjoy.